Last week, members of Armenian American Health Professionals Organization AAHPO gathered at the Waterside restaurant in New Jersey for the annual Winter Brunch and Service Award presentation. AAHPO's president, Dr. Larry Najarian, welcomed everyone and thanked members of the organization for their selfless service to the community. This followed by the reading of AAHPO's mission.
AAHPO's mission is to improve healthcare awareness, increase disease prevention and early detection, foster fellowship and career development of Armenian healthcare professionals, and provide medical support and education to both our local communities and Armenia.
Attending guests sang a beautiful rendition of Hayat Mer. After which Dr. Lucy Tovmasyan spoke about the upcoming 5K annual run fundraiser.
We appreciate help in any capacity. You can run the race, you can come out and help us organize it, you can help us hand out waters and stuff after the race, registering people, and it's usually a really fun event.
In his remarks, Dr. Najarian stressed the important work done by AAHPO.
It's very humbling to me to be able to reach out to many of you when someone or some group is in crisis here or in Armenia. And we've always answered the call in an amazing fashion. It's bewildering and humbling to me how we respond. So I really want to thank everyone here and all the volunteers for everything they do.
The main event of the afternoon was the Service Award presentation. Dr. Garbis Baidar introduced the first awardee, Dr. Rafi Barsumyan, for his work to help Armenian soldiers affected by burns during the Artsakh War.
Our recipient not only spent a month in Yerevan Burn Center, but he returned back to Yerevan, bringing back much-needed supplies and medication to Armenia. He was also instrumental in raising funds for this cause. As last, I want to emphasize that he did this all during the COVID epidemic, where everything was shut down in the United States, where people were afraid to go out. He went to Armenia to do all this. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Rafi Barsumyan.
I accidentally got involved in this. Someone reached out to me in the middle of the war, a couple weeks before it was ending, and said, listen, we know that you're a burn surgeon, and then we need help. I said, okay, what is the issue? Well, speak with the surgeons at the burn hospital in Armenia. I said, okay. So I contacted them, we Skyped with one another, and I realized they didn't have the most basic tools to do burn surgery. A mesher to mesh skin in order to go ahead and increase the surface area and graft. Without that device, you can't do burn surgery. It had broken. So I got a group of friends together, and we got these devices and all the other supplies they needed to Armenia within 6 days of me knowing about this. And then I realized I'd have to go out there and help, because they had about 150 severely burned soldiers. And these soldiers, until you're actually there and you see the situation of what their hospital is and what these young men have given, this is not the American military, where you have all sorts of support and the VA Medical Center. Imagine you live in a village in Armenia, you've been recruited to go to war, you have to serve for 2 years, you've gone to the front lines, and you've sustained a life-altering injury. These are young boys, 18, 19 years old, and it's heartbreaking to see this. It's heartbreaking to be there and to see these poor families going through this. But it was an experience that I'm glad that I went ahead and I went back the following year. We're very fortunate to have a very good burn hospital there and very good burn surgeons. We're very fortunate to have such patriotic soldiers who have given their lives to defend the country. Whatever it is I've done, I've done a very small part. I couldn't have done anything but for all of the other volunteers who helped me. When I called my friends and I said, look, I need your help, it wasn't just a matter of raising funds, it was a matter of actually having volunteers travel to Armenia and immediately take this equipment there. Imagine asking a person you don't know, here, please take this bag with this very important instrument to the burn hospital. And it wasn't one or two people that helped, it was dozens upon dozens. And again, they reached out and helped a couple of months ago during the most recent explosion in Artsakh, the fuel depot explosion. So I feel very grateful to be honored, but really the honor has to go to our soldiers and all the other individuals who helped me and made this possible. I feel very honored that AAHPO has recognized my efforts, and I'd like to point out that this was not an individual effort, but rather a group effort with the entire organization and all of those who volunteered to make our donations and our efforts for the burn hospital in Yerevan possible. And thank you again.
Dr. Larry Najarian introduced the second honoree, Dr. Ara Kayayan, who was one of the doctors to care for Bishop Mesrop Parsamyan after his accident.
But it really is a great pleasure to recognize my friend, our colleague, an example to all of us, Dr. Ara Kayayan. His medical expertise, his willingness, not being shy, and again, so typical of our membership, to take on a challenge, his devotion to helping the Armenian community, and along the way being very cheerful and very giving in his spirit.
Thank you, Larry, from my heart for the introduction. I was not deserving all this talk. Thank you to AAHPO for this award, which is I received humbly. And this honors not just me, but all the other healthcare professionals, Armenian and non-Armenian, who contributed to the healing of our primate Mesrop after his accident in 2022. When I received the call from Larry, right after the accident, on the day of the accident, I spoke with our priest there, Stepanos. And we knew of the situation, but we were not sure if he's going to stay in Albany or he's going to be transported overnight to New York. So in the morning of, the next day, which was Sunday morning, right before Badarak, I spoke with Larry, and he said, AAHPO recommends that you get in and find out what's going on. So I officially represented AAHPO and was the local eye in the management of our primate's health, and I did not have any hesitation. It was a great honor to be able to help. And I'm sure that any one of you would have done the same. I was just the right man, the right place. We learned from our parents and grandparents that the value of service towards our fellow Armenians and others. That is instilled in us. We are called today also to continue that tradition of service and duty towards our Armenian communities and beyond in the US and Armenia. I thank you again, all of you, for giving me this honor, and God bless. I received a great honor today from AAHPO regarding the work that I've done in Albany, coordinating some of the care of our primate, their Mesrop Serpazan. It was really an honor for me, non-deserving. I know that every one member of AAHPO would have done exactly the same if they had the opportunity. I encourage every Armenian health professional to join AAHPO and to be on the list. You never know, you can be called at any time to do what you have to do to your community and also to our homeland, Armenia. Thank you.
Members of AAHPO, Shogak Hovanesian and Dr. Garbis Baidar, thanked Dr. Larry Najarian for his work as the president of AAHPO.
Before we leave this room, I think we would be really remiss if we don't recognize the hard work, the dedication of Dr. Larry Najarian. I have known Larry the last 10 years. Oh my God. I mean, this man is a dynamo, never stops, and he cares for everybody. We are really, truly honored to have him as the chair of the Armenian American Health Professional Organization.
The event concluded, but the important work of AAHPO in serving Armenian community here in U.S. and in Armenia continues.